Labor Council, and I went to Cuba. I think it was either 5 or 7 years ago. I'm not sure. With the Venceremos Brigade, and also I'd like to thank Let Cuba Live because they were instrumental in helping us go, and Tom Whitney in particular. So thank you very much. So going to Cuba was really a remarkable experience for me, and if anybody hasn't gone, I really would urge you to go because it's really a fascinating experience. And for me, it's easy living here in the United States to think that our social system and our economic system is like natural, like the way that animals relate in the woods or something like that. Like there's no other option. It's just the way that it is. And so going to Cuba, it's really striking because it's different. It's a different system. It's a different social system, a different economic system. And I'm not going to tell you that it's perfect, but it's like that crack that you can see light through. When there's such a strong edifice here, and you see that crack, you can see the possibilities. And so for me, speaking to you here as, a working person here in Maine who's involved in the workers' movement in Maine, when people talk about Cuba, you hear people use words like, dictatorship of the proletariat, workers' state, bourgeoisie, stuff like that. And we, like nowadays, people a lot of times can't relate to those kind of words. People don't really understand how they relate to our lives, in the 21st century. But for me, going to Cuba, it was really striking. The first thing that I felt being there was like, this is what it would be like if my union ran the state of Maine.
Yeah.
Like Cuba, like my union's not perfect. It's like any organization, there's like power, factions, there's dissatisfied people, but it really is a democratic organization of workers. And that's a huge, big deal. And people forget about what a big deal it is because, when you're able to organize yourselves, when you're able to make decisions collectively, that's when you have power, and that's when you can make history and change history. And so for me, that's the way that I think about Cuba, is that on a big scale, on the scale of the country, because yeah, it's not perfect, but it's the real deal. It's like a place where it's a different structure. It's a structure that is for working class people. Like we look at in Obama's administration, how many people there are from Wall Street, from the pillars of industry, these corporate leaders, and why? Why is it so natural that the people who own the wealth in this country control the government? It's not necessary, And I imagine, what would it be like if we had a government in this country that was controlled by people like who were the leaders of the labor movement? It would be a very, very different place. And so to me, it's really important for us as working class people here to be, and as organized working class people here, to be standing up for Cuba. And unfortunately, it's not always true that our unions do. I guess, someone was saying that for the protests, there's unions paying for buses, which is great news to me. I haven't heard about unions, standing up for Cuba that much. And I think it's because there's this, this dark shadow of McCarthyism over everybody's shoulders all the time. And it's outdated, but it's still there. And when I was the president of the Labor Council, I remember one time we do this labor history moment at every meeting of the Labor Council where someone talks at the beginning about, something from labor history for 10 minutes or so. And so one month I didn't have anybody to do one, so I did one about the Communist Party and the U.S. labor history. And so at first it was like, you could tell people were kind of like, yeah, this made me uncomfortable, But then, like once people started talking about it, it's fine. Everybody can have the conversation and talk about it, and it's part of our history, and it's a part of our struggles now. So I'm hoping that like my daughter grew up in a world outside of that shadow, you know what I mean, and hopefully the movement of the working class here in the U.S. can be in alliance with the movement of the working class in the rest of the world, including Cuba. So yeah, thanks again. Thanks, Tom, for inviting me to speak here. And it's an honor, and I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you.
closing, I'd like to use one of the traditions that the Latin American revolutionaries have taught us of calling our allies into the room with us by saying their names, and then I'll say presente. Gerardo. Presente. Ramon. Presente. Antonio. Presente. Fernando. Presente. Renee. Presente. Thank you all.
One thing is we do have a table set up if you want to write letters more extensively with envelopes, things like that, and we were paying for the postage if you want to send anything there. Also, we have a letter writing day on Sunday. We did one last Sunday, and we're doing another one Sunday here from 10 to 12:30, so everyone's welcome to come. We just kind of put them all out on the table, and you can come. You can write to the Cuban 5, obviously, and we have a list of a lot of other political prisoners, so you can come and write 50 letters if you'd like. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm convinced letters really make a